Religious in the United States, and those involved in leadership and vocation ministry in particular, are likely quite familiar with the reference to Nigrin and Eucharitus. In 1993, these researchers, David and Miriam respectively, published the seminal work, The Future of Religious Orders in the United States. Their insights and challenges to religious communities, along with similar studies and analyses that have followed from other professionals, have proved highly influential in our self-reflection and transformation in the last 15 years. One of their conclusions, given the statistical data on shrinking numbers, was that U.S. religious communities had a window of about a decade, 10 years, in which to address transformational and commitment issues and rebirth religious life with a new generation of members for the future. I think we've done exceedingly well in this challenge as Croziers. Much of the work that we have been doing through the end of the 1990s and this past decade of transformation in preparation for our 2010 Jubilee celebration that has been going on has been directly tackling the foundational issues related to who we are as religious in the church, what our distinct charism is, and how we are to live it with renewed energy and integrity in our time. Throughout these years as well, we have continued to cast the net, to invite and encourage young men to consider and discern a call to our particular kind of religious life. Even though the 10-year window of opportunity that Nigrin and Eucharitus refer to has closed, I believe we still have a foot in the door, so to speak, that God is still calling young men to Crozier religious life in the United States. We are energetically and enthusiastically interested in welcoming these discerners to come and see who we are and what we are about in our religious life. In Phoenix, as in Minnesota, we have a number of young men in contact with us who have visited our community and are in some stages of the early process of their discernment. Certainly I and my confreres value and benefit from these visits as we are made to realize again and anew the graces of our own call and the charism of Crozier religious life that is still vital and attractive for the church and world. I speak of being vocationally challenged, however, because of the call set before us by the Master General in the 2009 General Chapter of last summer. At the end of his address to the Croziers gathered in Onamia on September 14th, which included most in the U.S. province, Master General Glenn Lewandowski added a challenge that, like Master General Henry Holman, who pushed for a monastery and a more solid and formidable corporate presence in the U.S. decades earlier, we need to have a novitiate occupied with Crozier novices in 2 years. Interestingly, in a prepared reflection that included a variety of salient, edifying, and encouraging items to mark the celebration of the solemn feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross and the beginning of our 800th Jubilee year and 100th year in the United States, it was this ad-libbed single-sentence add-on that has been the buzz of the American Croziers in the months since. The challenge is not simply Father Glenn's. The 2009 General Chapter spoke clearly and specifically to recruitment and initial formation as a critical need in the order in every part of the world, calling for new initiatives and programs where necessary to bring more young men into our religious life. Ours is not and has never been a highly populous order. We number about 400 members currently. Yet our witness and influence in the church and world has been and continues to be significant. As I prepare this article, the vocation teams from the Phoenix and Onamia priories are taking up the challenge and finalizing plans for a joint meeting to evaluate, invigorate, and coordinate our vocational recruitment efforts in the coming months. I'm excited that in the midst of this Jubilee year, we are looking to cast the net in new and exciting ways and invite all our networks of friends and benefactors to assist us in getting the word out to young men about Crozier religious life. Of course, the challenge remains ever before me and all of us as Croziers to live our religious life with integrity and with gusto, inviting those we meet to join us as we go toward God alone together. May God continue and bring this good work to completion. Thank you.